All I am is a man.
Now what if I told you that the Season 4 update for the Crew 2 has a handful of small tweaks, including, but not limited to, snow.
Oh, your highness, I'm sure it's not that noticeable.
My eyes!
All right.
But before we hop into all that, the new, I guess, thing for this update is really well described by this Motor Pass intro vid. So, here you go. Hey bud, now listen, I know these last couple of summits you haven't been anywhere near hitting Platinum, and in PvP, you've been lucky to reach Bronze 3. Even with this track record though, you still insist on wanting to be a driver, but you also still need to put food on the table. Well, I looked far and wide for you, and I found a gig that can keep you on the road, keep you from starving, and not require any driver skill. It's not the prettiest line of work, mind you, but a job where you can't possibly fail, and it still pays well, it's quite hard to come by. Yep, you're gonna be a cab driver, but internally, you'll be labeled as the Contractor. Think of it like calling a janitor a sanitation engineer. But that's it, brother. If for whatever reason you get some skills behind the wheel, I'm sure you can go back to the summit and PvP to keep yourself afloat. If you couldn't tell from that intro, this update, at least content-wise, doesn't do anything for players who like to compete. The Contractor missions are all simply waypoints that have some payout attached to them, along with AAA quality noises from passengers every time you use the nitrous. Like the last seasonal videos, I'm not going to cover the Motor Pass or the new events, so let's talk about the new cars. Ford Crown Victoria. Best new car, although that really ain't saying much. Chevy 3100. An old boat that feels like it has some funky rear-wheel steering. The Cadillac DeCoupe is another car that just doesn't have anything going for it, only against it. The Alpha Outclassed Edition, as far as I can tell, is identical to the standard version, so mid-tier. The service versions of all these cars are worse than the standard ones, as they don't get wide-body kits, and their suspension is a lot softer, making them much more susceptible to wheel clipping. Both the Crown Vic and Chrysler limousines are unfortunately not good, as they don't have any power and struggle for any form of grip, as they constantly slide everywhere. Pain. There's a bunch of small tweaks the game has seen. As an example, the skybox seems to feature new skyboxes. Snow now isn't a white blanket for the game as it was previously, which makes it way easier on the eyes. A bunch of cuts I highlighted previously were fixed. Coastal to LA no longer has the hairpin skip. Coconut Grove's infrastructure has returned. Strip South no longer has the back on track. MotorTrend, you can't go under the bridge anymore. Black Hills East doesn't have the corner skip anymore, but still the other two, which I mentioned in the last seasonal video, but didn't show. Seems I need to show the cuts for every tower to do something about them. Anyway, that's about it for what I have to give you. Kinda sucks that the new event for the season isn't much of an event. It's a real shame too, because there are 3 new companies, but they're not competing or anything, they just exist. Would've been cool to see the 3 companies fighting for territory in the city, but it all gets settled in the canyon.
But you'd never survive it.
1, 2,